Your next assignment that you shot, oddly enough, was something that you had scheduled 6 months prior. You said, you know what, I'm going to go and just take a breather. I'm going to go and shoot Wimbledon, the tennis tournament in England on the grass courts. You had scheduled that, and in the meantime, you go to Sudan. You experience this, and when you get home, and this was just on your own, you just schedule it for yourself to go and shoot Wimbledon.
Sure, yeah, non-commission.
And you brought this back with you. And what did that do to your Wimbledon shoot?
Originally, I think it was a couple of weeks before Wimbledon started, and I was not in the slightest bit interested in going to shoot the story, and I'd gone to all this trouble to get this accreditation, and the photographer that runs Wimbledon is also a very, very highly respected sports photographer who also runs the photography at the Olympics, and he'd said, Kieran, listen, I'd be happy for you to come in and shoot whatever it is you want to shoot. And I'd gone to all that trouble to get that, and he'd given it his blessing, and I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to turn around and say to Bob, I really don't fancy this, because I've just been in South Sudan living with these people in these camps, and the idea of going to Wimbledon and shooting people drinking champagne and eating strawberries and cream, it really, that's
what Echo and I like to call a rough transition.
Yeah. And on top of that, it was a self-commission. So, as a freelancer, self-commissioning and not earning any money, it's not really the greatest idea in the world. But over time, as we got closer, I just thought, hey, do you know what? Hey, why? Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll go and do this. So I went for the first couple of days, and I'd had an idea. I wanted to see if Wimbledon still had any charm, because I went with my dad when I was 10 years old, and I never forgot it. I got to see John McEnroe and Peter Fleming. Peter Fleming, not Ian Fleming, play doubles. I bumped into John Lloyd, a British tennis player at the time. And I just remember thinking that was a magical afternoon I had with my dad for my birthday when I was 10 years old. Let's see if Wimbledon still has that magic. And bearing in mind that I had shot 15 Wimbledons previously in my career as a professional, sitting on court shooting the tennis. I was there when Venus won her first. I was there when Roger Federer beat Sampras. Seminal moments in sport. So I just wanted to see if it had any charm. Now, that was my original intention when I got the press accreditation 6 months earlier. That completely went out the window. I wasn't interested in whether Wimbledon had any charm or not. I just thought, I'm going to go up and I'm going to photograph those people that can get the cheapest ticket and get in and just wander around the outside courts. I don't want to see a tennis player. I don't want to go anywhere near the show courts. I just want to see what it's like to be a punter, because when I came up when I was 10 years old, that's all I was with my dad. We were just two punters that managed to sneak 2 tickets to get into show court to see McEnroe and Fleming play doubles. So in a way, was I maybe trying to see if it did have a bit of charm? I think so, but that had really gone out of my head. So I turned up and I just started walking around, and my attitude was, well, do you know what? It doesn't matter if I don't get a picture, because who's going to shout at me? Who's going to say, Kieran, what have you got today? No one, only me. So I just, my mindset changed dramatically, and I just started wandering around. And I remember I used to hang around in I had a press pass. I'd just go into the media hall where all my mates were working, slogging their guts out, covering the tennis, because it sounds really glamorous, but it's full on shooting tennis at Wimbledon. It really is full on. And they just used to say, hey, you hang around in the calf a lot. I was like, yeah, I know, because I'm just waiting for the lights, and I just go out and see what there is, and they're like, oh God, I've got to go and sit on centre court for another 4 hours, and then Andy Murray's going to come on and play, and the roof's going to come over, and I'm not going to get out of here till 10 o'clock. I'm like, really? Yeah, I'll be gone by 6, because the light will have gone then, and there'll be no need for me to be here. And then I'd have another cup of coffee and wander out and just wander around. And I just had one camera and one lens, just a small Leica and a 35mm. And I'd wander and wander and wander, and first couple of days, didn't get anything. I thought, okay. So I decided, okay, let's go on day 3, and I went on day 3, and I remember walking around, and what had happened at this Wimbledon is occasionally they build a new court, and when they build a new court, it means the dynamics of that area since last year have changed. So walls have gone up, and in Wimbledon they're not walls, they put sort of green sheeting, very thick, heavy sheeting across to sort of delineate this is a new court. Well, what that means is that the security guards who are employed, who are just young guys looking for a summer job, they're employed. They haven't got a clue what the dynamics are of this court, because this court only existed this year and all these new things have been put in place. And so I remember just coming around the corner and I saw this guy standing with his face right up to the green baize like this. And I thought, it's as if he'd been sent to the naughty step. What is, face the wall, son. I thought, what is going on here? So I was sort of watching, and I took a few pictures, and I thought, okay, I need to get a little bit closer here. And as I did that, somebody else walked past me and just went straight up to the wall and put their, like this. And I thought, God, there must be a pinpricks in the material that allows them to put their eye right up to it, and they can see the whole court. And, I thought, that's what they're doing. Okay, right, I get it now. So I thought, well, all I need is for 10 people to just do this, and I've got a picture. So as I'm doing this, as I'm waiting for this moment to evolve, thinking, I haven't got a picture yet at Wimbledon, and this could be my first, so I'm gonna let this one mature and see what happens. And as I did that, this young guy turns up with a pram, and he takes his kid out of the pram, and his kid has this shock of red hair, and he's maybe 8 months old. No, maybe a year old, a bit older than that. Yeah, about a year old. Still a really tiny baby. And his wife walks past, and his wife goes to join the 3 other people that are peering through like this. And I thought, okay, right, I've got this. There's 4 people there like this, and then I don't know what this guy's doing with this baby. I mean, but this baby's got such an amazing shock of red hair. It looked fantastic against the green. So I've got what's going to happen? And this guy just picked the baby up and shoved the baby's head over the top of the baize. And before I took a picture, I thought, why are you doing that? Because the baby can't see anything, and you certainly, and I think in his mind he thought, if I shove the baby's head over the top, I'll be able to see something, as if it was like a periscope. Do you know what I mean? And it was so bizarre, and he kept it there, and I thought, right, time to take a picture. So I took this picture, and as I took the picture, there was an old boy standing behind me selling programs, and he went, that's a hell of a picture you've got there. And I thought, yeah, it is, and I'm just going to see if something else happens with the baby. I don't know what's going on, but it didn't, and I had my picture. But what I really wanted was to have been on the other side of that court and just seen that baby's head appear over the top. So that was my first picture, and I thought, okay, and that's how I normally work, get one under your belt and build on it. And I thought, that's a very funny picture. That is how I am going to look at this story. I'm going to find the humorous elements of being a punter in Wimbledon, and I want to shoot it as if so when you look at the pictures, you think, why has he shot that picture with those 2 heads in the way? And I can only just see that tennis player. And my point is, well, if you're a punter at Wimbledon, that's exactly how you see it.
You're in the cheap seats. That's what a punter
absolutely, is. Yeah. So, and most of these seats are, you just walk around and stand. So you're always crouching and trying to see. And I just thought, and of course, I have very rarely looked through the camera. I'd see a situation and just go, there you go, because I didn't care. I actually didn't care whether I got anything that was any good. I just thought, this is a nice feeling to just wander around and just click away. And I wasn't framing anything. I was framing, but framing in a way for a purpose, but I didn't care. And if somebody said to me, is that the result of 2 weeks at Wimbledon? I would have said, yeah, I don't care. And I really, really don't care. So that was the attitude with which I shot it. And so to finish the story, so come That was June 2014. And come January 2015 are the big, in the world of photojournalism, the World Press Photo Awards. And
those are like the Oscars.
For photojournalism, they're the big ones. And I remember when I was a young kid, I always used to print my stuff up, when I was starting, and send it in, and then look at the stuff and go, why didn't I win anything? Well, that's because my stuff was just crap, and that's why I didn't win anything. So I sort of stopped entering competitions when I resigned from Reuters in 2008. It just didn't really interest me anymore. But a friend of mine rang me up and he said, you have entered those Wimbledon pictures into World Press Photo. I said, no. And he said, oh, Kieran, you've got to. They're amazing pictures. And I thought, well, you're the only one that thinks that they're amazing pictures. I was happy with them, but, and he said, no, do it. So I did. And I had to submit 10 pictures. And I found 14 images that were potential. And I got down to 7. And then I called Tia in. And I said to Tia, listen, you got to find another 3 pictures out of these 5 or 6. Which 3 do you think should go into the set? And Tia said, that one, and that one. I said, great, that was it. And in it went. And lo and behold, it won. So
Kieran won an Oscar.
Kieran, yeah. So, yeah. And the irony of the story was, self-commission yourself and earn no money, and you win a big award.